This meeting is being recorded.
Oh, that was kind of crazy. Welcome to Stone Soup Poetry. As I mute you all, we have an all open mic tonight, and we hopefully will have an announcement tomorrow for a feature for our first summer feature. It's two people I asked. I technically booked them or offered to book them as a family act. It's a family act, but not the Aristocrats. It's a poetry power couple. And hopefully if they say yes, they'll agree into time and they'll see if they want to do a joint feature or just do it separate of one another. So either way, it'll be good times. It'll be their first time back at Stone Soup in ages. So we're excited about that as well. More announcements are going to come. I think I'm going to be inviting a lot of former North Shore / South Shore poets to the table. He used to be very involved in groups like Poet Tribe and the Bridgewater Poetry Slam. A lot of that group has dispersed and moved to other regions of the state or New England or the country, or all three. So hopefully we get some reunions from those groups. But now we will go to the online open mic, and those of you who are listening via the Facebook feed, if you're interested in joining the open mic, just join the link in the comment section. It should be one-stop shopping, no problem. All right, and today we're going to start with someone who wasn't able to make it last week, so we're going to have him lead the charge tonight. Let's welcome up Robert Fleming.
Good evening. I'm Robert Fleming, a writer and graphic artist from Delaware. And may I use the share screen? Thank you. So as we were talking about cats, I will share my few graphic arts that I have done about cats. This one was done about Eddie of Grey Gardens, who was related to Jackie Onassis, who was the First Lady of the United States. Short-haired cat feud, First Lady of Grey Gardens, Tale of Two Eddies. And the two women at the bottom are the two Eddies. This was another piece which was inspired by American Pastoral, which was done by Norman Rockwell. And what I was trying to imagine for Thanksgiving, what type of meal a lion would like and what they wouldn't like. So it's still wanting, no blood, well done. And there's the picture of the charcoaled human, which the lion didn't like. So I'll just stop with that. And those are the few art pieces I have done about cats.
Thank you so much, Robert. And now, who is the Remninator 5000 picked next? Let's see. We're going to go with Miss Jan Rowe if she's ready. She's always ready.
There you go.
This is actually a tribute to Daniel Ellsberg. Recently diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, died. I think he was around 90 or 92. He went to Vietnam in '65 and returned to the USA 2 years later with hepatitis. When he was in the RAND Corporation, he disclosed that USA was bombing the equivalent of a Hiroshima every day, or no, every week. And that the term stalemate was not allowed. So he xeroxed 7,000 pages It's smuggled out, and he copied with his 13-year-old son running the machine. And Daniel was collating it. His 10-year-old daughter didn't want to be in the car, complained of nothing to do, so she cut the words "top secret" off the tops and the bottoms of the papers. The police came twice because a merchant in the building had misset an alarm, but it looked like a nice family event. So Daniel Ellsberg, he said Nixon sent both the government and the mob after him when the Pentagon Papers were published. And Daniel Ellsberg also seemed very proud that both of his children were arrested several times as adults. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Up next, let us welcome up someone with her own project, her own thing going. She keeps it going with her Facebook page. And she wasn't here last week, so let's welcome her back, Annette Tarpley.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Hope you all are doing well. Good to see you all. I have a short little one. This one just got recorded this week by Alan Johnson's on YouTube. It's called The Fall of Man. When leaves on trees start to change and from timbered heights they fall, man ponders his change of season, whether tall of stature or small. Thinking when he was a wee little lad and its joys in life were few. Innocent, a young boy's words of tongue with age venom would spew. Bearing weapons against mankind, clad in armor men would pace. Cold of heart when shed foreign blood, ignorant to obliterate for race. For love can never survive the dark and murky waters of hate, abandon the treacherous seas, or be in store for a life of heartache. Regretting things in life, the fall of life, men would later ponder idealisms with age. His mind reflecting in his season of fall, changing color, a leaf filled with sage. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. Check out her Facebook page, Facebook group page, I should say, The Passion of Poetry. She can show it. She can, if she wants to put a link, she is more than welcome to, as are any of you who have something to hawk, something to promote. We'll go now to Mr. John Engstrom. Good to have you back, sir. You need to unmute yourself. Whoops. There you
Can you
go.
hear me now? Okay, good, good. Okay, the poem I had is called, it's a first draft. It's called Being on Your Best Behavior When You Don't Know What Best Behavior Is. I miss here. I also misread, but that's a different matter. I miss here partly because I have a damaged middle ear and cognitive impairment resulting from an early blow to the head. The silver lining to the cloud of opaque babble that engulfs me is that often my mishearings are more interesting and funny than the originals, which at times can be dry and sourpuss. Did you say that was your father's throw-up job? Co-op job? Or did you say the monster looks especially beautiful today? The monastery. A friend with a sardonic sense of humor calls these slippages of mine auditory hallucinations. So they're funny. Why not funny? Isn't everything funny? My signal scramblings are due not only to the diminished hearing that comes with age. Mishearing things was always a constant for me, a given, a ground level understanding that this is how things really are. When I was a kid in grade school, for quite some time, I thought the line "Of thee I sing" in the patriotic anthem, "My Country 'Tis of Thee," referred to icing on a cake. Of thee I sing. Of thee I sing. That icing on a cake had nothing to do with the song and made no sense, was not a deterrent to my taking part. Once I figured out the real lyrics, however, I got with the program and sang out like all the other songbirds in homeroom. Performing that anthem then became a group zombie ritual with all eyes focused in a tranced glare on the US flag, but in vain. The patriotic paean really was about pastry after all. My icing on the cake was better.
Thank you, John. Up next, as selected by Random Enter 5000, we have Jackie Chow.
Oh, hello, everybody. Hello, Chad. Okay, the first poem I'm going to read is called Success. Growing up, my father discouraged the hair flips, the red lips, the hand on the hip, the bent knee, and lifted heel of my cheerleading pose. He praised instead the olive-skinned girl who scooped dirty water from our flooded basement for $15, who went on to work for the government when she came of age. My father had a theory about the fleeting glory of butterflies. Thank you.
He gave me real nice at that time. Up next, straight from not his private Idaho, he, according to his press agent, it's his public Idaho. Let's welcome up Mr. Bill Lewis.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, you are a comic, Mr. Chadford. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, I am in Idaho, which is kind of freaky and wonderful at the same time. I have not seen a single person sleeping in a doorway, no tents, nobody begging anywhere. It has been so wonderful. And that was so hard for me in Cambridge. As many of you know, I worked hard to bring up awareness of the horrors of homelessness and street abuse and all of this, and I have not been very successful, but I did what I could. You know, I was there and trying to convince people that being nice is the way to death. You know, the nice people built the gulags. Anyway, I just wanted to say that this is beautiful and you have the power. You in Boston can make a beautiful world if you just want to. You know, get out there and let your politicians know. Anyway, blah, 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 politics. It is summer. It is the first day of summer. I am so excited. I'm just like getting off on it. And you know, summer is a coming in, louder sing cuckoo. Bloweth sad and gloweth med, and springeth louder woo. Sing cuckoo, sing. It's a round. This is the first written round in, well, that we know of in history from 1261 or something. They don't know who wrote it, but they have suspicions. And it was just fun. Sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo. So I am enjoying the cuckoos and all the singing. And my brief, if meaningful poem for Mayor Wu on the day that Masson Cast closed and there were no homeless people and Masson Cast at all, I went down to City Hall with a great big sign that said, "Bravo, Mayor Wu. You are my hero. You stood up when others did zero." So there is my poetic addition to the first round. Yours truly.
Thank you, Bill. Up next, our one phone participant. I'm gonna probably contact Carol Western to see if she's okay. This is her second week missing out. It's been a while. Oops. What happened to my? There we go. Here I am. Hopefully she'll be back soon, but for now, I'm gonna ask her to unmute and let's welcome up Nancy Dodson.
Summer's heat. A street burns with fiery heat. A warming wind blows the heat along madly. Rain, rain, refreshment is needed for the thirsty ground. Fast flying clouds let the flowers drink. Come on, jewels of the summer, drink and lift your flowery heads. Sweet flowers relish the sun and rain. Delight in your short-term bloom. The sea's joy reflects the circle of our days in the fire that heats. Rain, rain, refreshment is needed for the thirsty ground.
Thank you, Nancy. And now we come to Mr. John Wesek, fiction writer, poet, humorist, all of the above, none of the above. You be the judge.
You be the judge. Endangered. Eager for witty put-downs or even a hitch slap. Spectators smelling of coconut oil and holding dripping ice cream bars surround the enclosure. But there will be no show today. The July sun has made the endangered critical thinker listless. Wearing Bermuda shorts and a straw hat, she lounges on a deck chair. The only action comes when she puts down a book to floss her teeth with a eucalyptus leaf. A bored teen shoves a post-truth manifesto through the bars as a provocation. Baring her fangs, the thinker charges as zookeeper pulls the teen away just in time. Careful, she'll cut you off at the knees, the zookeeper says before evicting the troublemaker. Conservationists estimate there are fewer than 100 critical thinkers left in the wild. Monocultures of groupthink have replaced the diversity of ideas that make up a critical thinker's diet. 120 decibel screams from partisan echo chambers damage their delicate hearing, and the steel jaws of ideological litmus tests ensnare any critical thinker who makes a careless step. The strong chew their legs off and escape, but most perish due to starvation and neglect. Armed with healthy skepticism, a few brave teachers struggle to protect wild critical thinkers, but poachers carrying bandoliers of book bans and sawed-off parents screaming at school board meetings outnumber them. Captive breeding has been unsuccessful. The number of critical thinkers is too small to ensure genetic diversity. Conservationists attempt hybrid breeding, but those of childbearing age prefer mating with the rich, trendy, and beautiful instead of critical thinkers who express unpopular opinions. Barring urgent action, critical thinking will go extinct in our lifetime.
I forgot to mention truth sayer. Anyway, and prophet. If critical thinking isn't already dead, but anyway. Let's be happy and play music for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pulse of Stone Soup and the Boston poetry scene. Bassist Ethan Mackler. Thank you, Ethan. Oh, and make sure to check out the link that Annette left. If you have not joined the Passionate Poetry group, then consider doing so after tonight's reading. Up next, and closing out the first round of the 2 round robins, we'll have, let's go down to Oddball Columnist. Check out his column ready to go tomorrow for 11 o'clock at oddballmagazine.com, where we're always accepting submissions. Welcome, James Van Loy.
Thanks, Chad.
Whoops, I muted you by accident. Sorry about that.
Okay, Chad. So anyway, I got a poem here called Agent Orangehead Peppy. There really was sort of a MAGA Peppy who was this guy's comic book character that was kidnapped by the sort of Nazi trolls. So anyway, Agent Orangehead Peppy versus the shamanic frog. Agent Orangehead Peppy versus the shamanic frog. The gamer troll army has kidnapped Peppy, the children's book sensitive guy artist, avatar of male vulnerability in hands of pure rage, driven by self-created social suffocation, technical life squeezed down to virtual reality, where no live woman could want such vanity, surely a crime in and of its frustrated self, until suddenly I remember the old gift from my ex-wife, wood carving of the ancient shaman frog with a big circle heart drum beak that I keep next to that William Blake rendition of St. Paul's encounter with Jesus on the way to Damascus, riding a horse who has lost his legs beneath the weight of the enlightened persecutor of his new master's disciples, now a believer himself, who with the shamanic frog has been called forth by the legions of the internets, evoking his transformative, aquatic, amphibian nature. Egg become tiny tadpole, become growing arms and legs. And then who knows, maybe even a soul, even a spirit that must find a way to build up, not destroy life, miracle life. And here's a quick song. Tiptoe to the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Tiptoe from your pillow to the shadow of the willow tree, and tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep in flowers will spray, will keep the showers away. And if I hold you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me?
Thank you. And thank you to John Wesick, who before the before the poetry from James commenced, sent us a link of Richard Spencer getting punched while discussing Pepe the Frog, which sparked the debate, should Nazis get punched? By debate, I mean really stupid fucking questions. But yes, it's a 20-second video, but very satisfying every time it's played. Thank you, James, again. And we're gonna go back to start, Pasco collect 200. And we're gonna commence, we're gonna begin at the beginning again with Mr. Robert Fleming.
Good evening, I'm Robert, still Robert.
So, Robert.
So I'm going to share a visual poem this time, and it's an erotic poem. So if you're a prude, it's the time to put your hands over your ears. I'm also asking for some feedback. I have 2 potential titles for the poem. And so listen to the poem, and at the end, if you're moved in either way, either send me a message in the chat or just unmute and say which title. So these are the 2 potential titles. Rigging the Odds at the 1973 Kentucky Derby by Secretariat's jockey Ron Turcotte, telephoning Angie Light's jockey John LeBlanc, claiming Sham has a flexor tender injury. Or the second title, Creamgasm. We are the fat cells in your tummy, born from licking 1 can of Ready Whip off Tom's cock every blowjob before Tom creams. Buy only Ready Whip. In the supermarket, Cool Whip is 98 cents off 16 ounces, cheaper than Ready Whip. Retract your hand, reaching for the 3rd shelf. If you betray me, I beg, do it with Nutella. Buy only Ready Whip. For the last 10 years, you only fucked Tom. Crabs only 12 times. Syphilis 5 times. If you switch to Cool Whip, your copulations will be the silence of an empty Ready Whip can. Buy only Ready Whip. So I welcome any choices for the title, either just unmuting now and letting me know, or putting it in the chat. Thank you. And I've also been nominated for the Blood Rag Poet of the Year, which is selected by voting, and I will put how you can vote for me in the chat. Thank you and greetings from Delaware.
Thank you for the raccoon picture. And well, for titles, I don't know. The rigging one seems pretty long, but you definitely do bury the lead, and sometimes that's what you need to do for poets. I would even just say, just use the first 3 words of the first title, and they'll bury the lead sufficiently. But it's glad you had fun with that one. We have up next. Do I see her? Yes, I do. Right here in the top left corner, or at least my top left corner. Let's welcome up Jan Rowe.
This is in the works. So far, it's called 77. Those old enough may remember the early TV show when there were only like 3 channels. It was called 77 Sunset Strip. Remember Cookie Cookie, lend me your comb? Hey, Trump just turned 77 recently. And 77 minutes, that's how long it took the 376 good guys with guns waiting outside as the 19 fourth graders and their 2 teachers were exploded. The reason was because the AR-15 could penetrate their armor. The cops, the corrupt cop union got rid of the cops who wanted to have bulletproof to AR-15s for some reason, got rid of them. So I was just thinking the coroner who was working identifying them until midnight, these kids that were just like 3.5 foot tall, that those and legislators wearing the AR-15 pins should have to see that too, and not just the coroner be traumatized. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Please vote for Robert Fleming. Link in the comments, in the chat, I should say. Yes, and now we'll go back to the mastermind behind the passion of poetry. Let's go to Annette Tarpley again.
Okay, thank you. Hopefully I haven't done this one before and won't bore y'all. This is a little story called The Legend of Jack. Down in a meadow with a mountainous view surrounded by woods sits a shack. The people who live near this hollow know of the mysterious tenant named Jack. Jack lived out his life with no one. He was known as a county's recluse. He had a still in the backwoods, made his own shine, and frequently partook of his juice. When Jack went to town, people would stare, but disheveled he would appear. Once a year, Jack would offer his land a grand celebration with plenty of kegs of beer. It was the only time that Jack had company. He had bands playing plenty of bluegrass. He offered games for the children, chasing chickens, and Jack would join in and ran mighty fast. Despite his kind gesture, people would ridicule, scoff, and talk behind his back. If he was down and out and in need of help, no one would lend a hand to poor old Jack. Bordering his land was a rushing creek with lots of rain. Waters flowed high in the bank. Little Sally fell in. She couldn't swim, and after she screamed, she quickly sank. Jack came to the rescue, dived in and saved her. People helped her, pulling her onto the grass. That was the last they saw him. The undercurrent took him. He had sacrificed his life for the lass. Funny how things turn around. No one scoffed anymore. Jack's legend continued on. The musicians got together. They wrote a ballad. Jack lived on through the lyrics of song. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Annette. Up next is returning John Engstrom, if he's willing.
Can you hear me? Good. Okay, thanks. I've got a poem here by Tristan Tzara, famous as one of the original Dada artists and a very major surrealist artist, but also a poet. And this one is called Vegetable Swallow. Two smiles meet towards the child, a wheel of my zeal, the bloody baggage of creatures made flesh in physical legends, lives. The nimble stags, storms cloud over, rain falls under the scissors of the dark hairdresser, furiously swimming under the clashing arpeggios. In the machine's sap, grass grows around with sharp eyes. Here the share of our caresses, dead and departed with the waves, gives itself up to the judgment of time, parted by the meridian of hairs. Noon strikes in our hands, the spices of human pleasures.
Thank you, John. Now, moving right along, Jackie Chow, if you're ready to turn off your camera and do your thing.
Oh,
There you go.
okay. Yes. So I too mishear song lyrics. There's a song by Prince. It's called Raspberry Beret. And for the longest time, I thought it was Raspberry Parade. So I wrote a poem on that.
Oh, good.
It's called Raspberry Parade, a gospel for Prince. On my way home from the cabaret, I realized I've lost my beret. The street is an endless parade, raspberries on my float, not a beret. Vagabonds crowd the sidewalks, wrapped in colorful rags, but no beret. I wear a red dress my mother bought with a crystal tiara, not a beret. She passed away in 1994, and the song isn't about me, but a beret. Thank you.
Her lyrics are some of my favorites. And John just shared us a link. Yes, the original collection of misheard lyrics. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. And other misheard phrases. Or other misheard lyrics. Instant classic. Up next. Welcome back. Idaho wandering, the now wandering Idahoan? Idahan? I don't know what you call him, but let's welcome up Bill Lewis with his walk in the woods.
Hope that works. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
You're good, Bill. I hear you.
I do too.
Okay, it does sometimes come in and out. So here we go. This one It has been a very, very sad time recently, and I have been struggling with my anger and all of this here. So the struggle. Even now I hear them squeezing out of my nightmares and into reality. Death stalks us, waiting for a guard to be lowered. The moment we feel secure, the moment we relax to enjoy the fruits of our labors, that is the moment when they attack. From the sky, from the fields, even from underground, the stuff of bad science fiction movies come to life, come for death, come for destruction. I scream, no, no, not her, no, not them. I am too late. The perpetrators have vanished, no trace, just the remains of my darling's corpse scattered across the log pile, which she once called home, her little ones crushed and splattered against the logs. Agnes always wore a white collar to contrast with her blackness. So lovely, so sweet, so excited to become a mother, and now gone in an instant, devoured by some hideous beast, nothing left, just feathers, eggshells, a few bones. Every life in nature demands the death of others. How else does a fox or falcon nurse themselves? Why not eat the ground squirrels? I yell at the heavens. Gophers, moles, voles, they are not adequate for a feast. I should not complain for a moment. Take them, eat them all, just not my chickens, not Agnes, not Agnes, not her chicks, not Agnes.
Thank you, Bill. If she's still on, and yes, she is, we're gonna go to our phone participant, Nancy Dotson. She can press *6 and read one more time. Uh-oh. Looks like she hung up. She can call back in. Let's go now to Mr. John Wezek.
Crack Babies, a found poem. The Scare, 1989. 375,000 crack babies born in the last year alone. Brain damaged, malformed, or seizure prone because mothers smoked crack cocaine during pregnancy. In the first 5 years, they do not speak or understand language as well as other babies. Difficulty relating to their world, making friends, playing, and feeling love. Unable to develop into adults with basic employment skills. And they die. A lot of them just die. Money counts more than the lives and brains of children. The lack of congressional action, inexcusable. Congress acts. 5 grams of crack carries a minimum 5-year federal prison sentence. 100-to-1 crack versus powder cocaine sentencing disparity. The aftermath, 2010. Following stiffer penalties for crack, the black incarceration rate exploded. Crack baby scare, overblown. Primary study involved just 23 infants, a sample too small to be meaningful. Not a medical diagnosis, but a media stereotype. No lingering effects on children born to drug-addicted mothers. Effects less severe than alcohol and comparable to tobacco. Failed to show a statistically significant effect on IQ or language development. Prenatal exposure to crack has little or no effect on long-term development. Little proof of any major long-term ill effects. That generation of crack babies never emerged.
Laura, tonight. Thank you, John. Looks like we'll be able to get Nancy back on. Give me 1 second, Nancy. All right, Nancy, you're unmuted. You're up if you want.
Yes, I'm sorry, my phone went off. Survival, the design of politics, the fall of one's thoughts amid the fullness of God's being. His mercy has brought design of politics. Compromise then and hit the jackpot. Honest success comes by hard work. No, but of course, one has mercy at the fall. My death, yours or mine. We'll ring a call of survival. Survive, yes, for all concerned. Come one, come all. I don't want us to fall, not yet. God bless my soul for survival and all.
Thank you, Nancy. And now, one more musical interlude with Mr. Ethan Mackler. Thank you, Ethan. And we bring it home. One more time, Mr. James Van Lloyd, to bring it all home with poem and perhaps song as well.
Thanks, Chad. So I've got this poem called Jacob's Ladder here. What can you do except whistle? We are climbing Jacob's ladder. As you are born automatically up from the urine and feces smell alcove of the Park Street subway station, the long clanky tub of steel and tile, part of the innards of the Boston labyrinth, being born up carried up into the fierce wind, being sucked down to the urbane earth's intestines, but still rising, still borne up to the tiny patch of crystal blue sky too far above and yet so near that anything more could exist. And there, yes, there it is, the electric smooth flow, the concentrated energy, directed power, focused attention, the shamanic trance, journey within that lets it all hang out, wrestling with angels going up and down the rounds of the sky ladder, straight up to heaven from the underground below. Every round goes higher, higher. Every round goes higher now. So long, sad times. Go long, bad times. We are rid of you at last. Howdy, gay times, cloudy, great times. You are now a thing of the past, 'cause happy days are here again. The skies above are clear again. Let us sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. All together shout it now. There's no one who can doubt it now. So let's tell the world about it now. Happy days are here again. Your cares and troubles are gone. There'll be no more from now on. 'Cause the days are here again. The skies above are clear again. So let's sing that song of cheer again. Happy days are here again.
And with that, it's been quite a night of animals. Quite a night of animals and what have you. I appreciate you all coming out tonight. I'm looking forward to making an announcement for the first summer features. I already got 2 confirmed, possibly for the same day, and there'll be more coming. And the week of the 5th, I will be away, but I'm going to ask if CCS Chagra would be interested in hosting while I'm away. That's the hope at any rate. So more announcements will come for that. I got a lot more time coming up now that my girlfriend's school is done. I'm helping her close up tomorrow on Friday afternoon, and things, more things will be moving quick. Things will be moving more quickly, hopefully. So thank you all for coming. Do the one last wave. I appreciate you guys coming on short notice. Hopefully the next announcement will be on much further notice. Oh my. Thank you all and have yourselves an excellent evening. See you soon.
Thanks, everybody. Great reading.